Oh, it's a very hot day today. It's 37 degrees out there at the moment. For our American listeners, it's 99 degrees Fahrenheit. But a very hot one. It's a Saturday. Didn't have to go witnessing today. And hello, I'm Justin Potter. Welcome to my channel. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a big like. And what I want to speak to you today about is dating and marriage in the Jehovah's Witnesses. As you know, as a Jehovah's Witness, you may not know actually, that when you are interested in someone of the opposite sex, you can only date that person in a courtship to marriage. So Jehovah's Witnesses couples don't really date, but when they go to barbecues or parties or they're not birthday parties, of course, or Christmas, but conventions, all the young witnesses get dressed up, girls get dolled up, and the guys get dressed up to see if they can find a nice marriage mate. Because there may not be anyone in their congregation who is marriage material or who they're attracted to. And when you fall in love with somebody, it's usually chemical attraction. And in the Jehovah's Witnesses, oh, well, he's not a very spiritual brother, I wouldn't marry him. And when I met my wife on the 6th of November 1997, my wife and I were both pioneering. And we would get stuck in the car alone together, as another couple of Jehovah's Witnesses would be at the door. And I remember it happened quite a few times. This Jehovah's Witness couple would be invited into somebody's house for a Bible study, or they had an interested householder. And Nikki and I used to get stuck in the car. And when we're in the car, we got talking and we fell in love with each other. Alone in the car, no chaperone. And when the witness couple would come back from the door, they'd apologise. Oh, sorry for leaving you two for so long in the car. And we said, oh, no, that's okay. That's fine. Take longer, take longer. And Nikki and I fell in love with each other. And we met on the 6th of November 1997. And on the 13th of December 1997, 5 weeks later, that's 5 weeks later, we're engaged. And somebody told the elders, and the elders wanted to call us into the back room. Justin and Nicole, can you two come out here in the back room, have a talk with the elders? And there was 2 elders, and they were saying, you two have only known each other for how long? We said 5 weeks. 5 weeks, and you're engaged? Engaged to be married? I said, yeah, in 14th of February. We wanted it to be the 14th of February because that was the only day that the minister was available, the brother was available to marry us. And so we were going to get married pretty soon, in 3 months. So we had to put it back to March because we couldn't get February, so we got married on the 14th of March 1998. But the elders said, we're very concerned about you two because you've only known each other for 5 weeks. And marriage is a lifelong commitment, and you can't divorce your marriage mate unless it's on grounds of sexual immorality. And I said, no, we both said we love each other, and we've been stuck in the car alone a lot of the times and got to know each other, and we love each other. And Nikki and I have now been married this March of 2021. Today's date is the 5th of December 2020, but on the 14th of March 2021, Nikki and I would have been married for 23 years. We've been married for 23 years, and we're very happy. We have a very happy marriage. Love each other to bits. We never fight. We don't have... The only time we have disagreements is basically over religion, And it's interesting with Jehovah's Witnesses, the dating in marriage. Well, in the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses, as I said before, when you go dating, it's view to marriage. And the elders said to Nikki and I, this is in the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses, the elders says, well, if you break off your engagement, it's not going to look good, and there may be restrictions on you too, on your privileges may be taken away, restrictions on answering up maybe at the meetings, or may not be able to go witnessing, or some restrictions, you know. So that's in the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses, that if you break off an engagement when you're due to be married, it's a very serious thing. And as I said, that's in the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. And so Nick and I have been married for 23 years, very happy. But not all Jehovah's Witness couples are happy in marriage, because what happens if you're a young Jehovah's Witness and if you fall in love with somebody at work who you have perfect chemistry with, you find them very attractive, you're sexually attracted to this person, you get on really well with them, and they would make a great marriage mate and a lovely partner to have. But if they're not a Jehovah's Witness, you're not allowed to marry them, because if you marry them, it's not going to go, the Jehovah's Witnesses are really going to look down on you, and they're not going to go to your wedding. You may lose privileges, and if you have sex before marriage, you will get disfellowshipped, even if you say you're sorry. Most times they do disfellowship you. And so it's sad, because a lot of young Jehovah's Witnesses, about 18 or 19, they get married very early because they're sexually attracted to somebody in the congregation, and they get married early, and it ends up that they're not really compatible. And once they get married, they find out too late that they're not compatible, and they have miserable marriages, very unhappy marriages, and they're not allowed to divorce except for grounds of sexual immorality, like adultery or fornication. So they can have very unhappy marriages, but they must stick with each other, and it's very sad, because it's terrible. You know, if you're a young person, you should fall in love with whoever you want to fall in love with. You're free to fall in love with anybody you want, and you should never be judged on who you fall in love with, even if you fall in love with somebody of the same sex. Yes, I'm a firm believer that Jehovah's Witnesses who are gay or lesbian are born that way in the wound. It's just genetics. It's just genetics. As I've said before, cows, I've seen cows. Nikki and I used to live next to a dairy farm, and the girl cows used to mount each other sexually. So why would Jehovah God allow lesbian cows mounting each other? I'm not too sure about the bulls, because we only had 1 or 2 bulls, but the majority of the cattle were girls, you know. And why would God allow that? And I have heard that some monkeys mount each other. I have heard, I forget the name of the monkeys, but there is homosexuality in nature, and it is natural, and it's just genetics. At birth, you're born with the homosexual gene, and it's not a sin, it's not evil, it's not bad, it is natural. I am not a homosexual. I'm 100% heterosexual, but if you do fall in love with somebody of the same sex, feel free to marry them. Feel free to marry them, because there's nothing wrong with that. Completely natural. And so you should be able to fall in love with whoever you want, and you shouldn't have to feel bad about it. And love even someone if they are a different religion. My friends down south, I rang up one of my friends a couple of years ago when I was Jehovah's Witness, and I said, oh, how are your kids? And they said, oh, Jesse got disfellowshipped, their son got disfellowshipped. Oh, right. He fell in love with a girl from the Greek Orthodox Church, had sex with her before marriage and got disfellowshipped for that. But he got, as a disfellowship person, he got married in a Greek Orthodox Church. And I said, well, she's a Christian girl. And I said, did you go to the wedding? How was the wedding in the Greek Orthodox Church? And the brother said, I didn't go to their wedding. No, we're not going to go to a Greek Orthodox church wedding. And I said, well, they're Christian. That's your son. You've got to go to your son's wedding. No, we didn't. He's disfellowshipped. He's left Jehovah. And he's married a girl in the Greek Orthodox Church. Well, as long as they love each other, they may have a wonderful marriage and a happier marriage than actually Jehovah's Witnesses' marriage is. I'm very blessed. I'm one of those ones that won the lottery, in a sense, where I got a good wife and we're still happy after 23 years, so we're great. But not going to your own son's wedding because he married a girl from the Greek Orthodox Church is not right, not right. And that is the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what they are like. And as I said, I went to a funeral back in 2015 of an 80-year-old pioneer sister who died, and her 40-year-old daughter was at the funeral, and the elders told my wife and I don't talk to Grace's daughter, she's disfellowshipped. I ignored that and I went to talk to Grace's daughter, and the elders roused on me later on. We told you she was disfellowshipped, but hey, it's her mother's funeral. Where's the Christian love in that, you know? But that is the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. So that is their culture, you know? And as a apostate, they call me an apostate, I saw Tony Morris's video the other day on, he had a match, you know, apostates, Jehovah's enemies. Won't it be nice when Jehovah snuffs out apostates, just like this match, and he lights a match and snuffs it out and has a bit of a giggle. And he says, apostates, enemies of Jehovah, never to live again. That's what Tony Morris says. The apostates, when Jehovah destroys them, never to live again. And he says, well, you know, we don't like, you know, we're not happy about that. We don't jump up in joy for that. But hey, enemies of Jehovah God. No, we're not enemies of Jehovah God. We just disagree with the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses. And we haven't left Jehovah, us apostates. We have just left the Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania Propriety Limited. And if you're a young person, young man or woman, if you fall in love with someone of a different religion or the same sex as yourself, marry. Feel free to marry and you will have a happy marriage. Don't marry someone just because they work for the Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania Propriety Limited. They're not working for Jehovah. We haven't left Jehovah. We have just left the Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania Propriety Limited. It's just a money-making business, and you're their workers, and they're getting free labour to build kingdom halls that they sell behind your back and keep the profits and pay off victims of child sexual abuse. And you're just free labour for the Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania. And in the Watchtower it says, slave for Jehovah. Slave for Jehovah. And as a Jehovah's Witness, the Bible says you're nothing but a good-for-nothing slave. So slave for Jehovah, and he will bless you in due course. Well, you're slaving for the Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania Propriety Limited. Feel free to marry whoever you want to marry. You can marry whoever you want, regardless of their religion. Religion shouldn't be an issue. You should be free to marry whoever you like, even if they are of the same sex as yourself. So this is all I want to say in my video. And as I discussed the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses on dating and marriage, please don't give me any rude comments, anti-gay comments. You should go back to Jesus and go back to Jehovah. I will delete your nasty comments. So that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. So like the channel, subscribe, give it a big thumbs up. We love you very much. Bye then.